What is that?
The hell is even that?
Ladies and gentlemen, don't call 911. That's just me being stun locked.
Yes, I'm stun locking myself.
From the last chapter, One Piece, chapter 1043. And I know you are too. Be real here. I know you are too. For the past few days, your mind has been racing about theory after theory, possibility, salivating with anticipation. What is going on with our main boy, Monkey D. Luffy? Cause confirmed in the last chapter, he is the man, the myth, the legend. Has that WWE spotlight on him. Joy Boy. Luffy is confirmed Joy Boy. Oda lit a fire under the bums of the fandom. And now we just can't wait to find out the full scope about what is going on for Monkey D. Luffy and Joy Boy as he's going through this odd transformation. I want to talk about something that I'm pretty sure not many folks will talk about, which is the idea of now the confirmed real Joy Boy, Monkey D. Luffy, and fake Joy Boys, frauds, phonies. And the reason why is because Oda did kind of set it up where there were other damn good options on who could have been Joy Boy. Now, to be fair, I'm pretty sure in the vast majority of people's minds, Luffy was the best choice for Joy Boy. Truth be told, he is the main character, and the main character of a shonen, most of the time, in the vast majority of cases, tends to roll differently than the rest of the cast. That is very true. However, there were good options out there, no doubt about it, especially after chapter 968, where the Sea Kings talk about another sovereign that was going to be born in a distant sea. Now, maybe Joy Boy is the other sovereign. We're not too sure just yet, but at some point in the future, we will return to Fishman Island. That's a given, I think. And if we do see the Sea Kings, watch Luffy and Shirahoshi interact, and they're all happy, swimming around doing loop-de-loops, have these ooh-woo cute faces, okay, fine. Now we know the other sovereign is Joy Boy. But make no mistake, for a while now, Momonosuke was a solid pick to be Joy Boy, especially when it was revealed that Zunisha was Joy Boy's companion and only Momonosuke could control Zunisha. Plus, there was also chapter 1014 where Momo said that he truly must not die after reading Oden's journal, or even chapter 1041 when Yamato states that it's Momo will be the one to guide the world to the dawn. That is a big Joy Boy level claim from Yamato to Momonosuke. Momonosuke will be the one to guide the world to the dawn. Also, a low-key option, but one that I did like a lot, was Vivi being Joy Boy. Now, there were a lot of reasons for it, but one of the core reasons was ancient weapon Pluton that is somewhere still in the sands of Alabasta. If let's say she was similar to Shirahoshi, where it's only her who can actually control and command the original ancient weapon Pluton, then that would bolster the idea of her being a sovereign and then potentially Joy Boy. But then also, Vivi's stock went AMC parabolic in chapter 908 when Imu rips up the pictures of Shirahoshi, Luffy, and Blackbeard, and then keeps Vivi's picture as Imu sits on the true throne. It is Vivi's picture that Imu is holding out of all the pictures available, and Luffy is Joy Boy. So why is Vivi so important to Imu? Oh man, so that is a very interesting plot line, without a doubt. But moving on from those two, there was also another major candidate, a big option for Joy Boy, someone whose impact across the series has been tremendous, undeniably, someone who was loved by many of the fandom, and honestly is a pretty good written character, without a doubt. And that person is Buggy. Buggy, a fake Joy Boy. If Buggy's worth in the series was that tremendous, I would probably drop One Piece. No, of course not. I'm talking about Mr. Land, Sea, and Air. Kaido is allegedly the strongest until Shanks tells Kaido to stand in the corner of the class and face the wall for misbehaving. The whole point here is this. a few months back on Twitter, Sandman of Arlong Park talked about how Kaido's name and what it means in Japanese. The kanji of his name meant strong kid or joy boy. And he later theorized in that tweet that Kaido's parents gave him that name hoping that he would be like or be the joy boy. Kaido's parents is very, very interesting. Those spankings, oof, woo-hoo, must have been brutal when he misbehaved. Almost on par with Asian parents, but I digress. Kaido's reasoning to be as strong as he is and become the Pirate King is probably partly fueled with trying to be Joy Boy. And the thing here is that when it comes to the idea of Joy Boy, Kaido's kind of right.
Okay. He was right.
Yeah, Kaido's actually kind of right when it comes to his idea notion of Joy Boy. Because when he beats Luffy in chapter 1013 and he punts him off the island, in the next chapter he claims that Luffy isn't Joy Boy. This is a claim about power for Joy Boy. Joy Boy is an incredibly powerful person in Kaido's mind. And King the Wildfire thought of Kaido as Joy Boy, and in King the Wildfire's mind, all Kaido had to do was continue to be the strongest, and that was enough in his mind. So it seems that Luffy's current transformation is based on his awakening that was hinted at, I would argue, ever since he fought against Urashima at the beginning of this arc. And if that is the case, then this proves that Kaido wasn't skipping class at University, since awakening and death through power is something very rare and does show a great understanding and great power with one's abilities. Power is important when it comes to being Joy Boy. Praying to the Lord of Light in Game of Thrones and coming back from the quote dead might be a catalyst to become Joy Boy. Not too sure on that one just yet, of course, but it could also explain why Kaido wanted to kill himself constantly, since again he wanted to be Joy Boy, but time and time again he failed. This might be the thing that Kaido was referring to in chapter 1037 when he said, I gave it everything I had, but I think it just wasn't meant to be, when he's drunk and he's crying in giant dragon form. And when you look at Kaido's demeanor in that King flashback, how he's all smiles, how he's happy, giddy, ready to go. In fact, also, when we see Kaido fight against Moria in that flashback, also all smiles, giddy, ready to go. And then you look at Kaido now, where Kaido, for the most part, is always somber, he's always sad, always drinking, crying himself to sleep, that kind of stuff. Kaido has been failing non-stop at probably being Joy Boy, and he, right now, is the biggest representation of being the fake Joy Boy. And also, something that's hidden in plain sight when it comes to the name Joy Boy is also the other meaning of Kaido's name, Strong Kid. When you think about the strongest people in the world of One Piece right now, how could you not include Monkey D. Luffy in that top end? If you don't, either your IQ is sub 60 or you popped in 60 pills of something illicit, which if you did, go to the hospital now. Luffy is the strongest person we have seen in the series under 20 years old. I'm gonna say it again. Luffy is the strongest person we have seen in the series under 20. And this could also be potentially some sort of requirement when it comes to being Joy Boy. And maybe Joy Boy was actually a fairly young person, also sub 20, when these major events of the Void Century were going down. Now let's two-step back real quick from Kaido and kind of broaden the scope here of the fake versus real Joy Boys. The Gorosei, in their conversation in chapter 1037, talk about a double fruit that hasn't awakened in centuries, which means that other people in the past have had this fruit, which is probably the Gum Gum no Mi, which is most likely the fruit that they're talking about, but they failed to get to this level of Devil Fruit mastery, particularly and potentially at the age that Luffy's at right now, under 20. And then lastly, when you look at Kaido's mindset of strength, and take a look at the few men that he respects, Kaido's top 5. All of these men in Kaido's mind could have been, /be, Joy Boy candidates. So Roger, who did find the One Piece, was king of the pirates. He died with a smile. Whitebeard, who at a point in time did control most of the New World, rivaling Roger, and did usher in another major pirate surge during Marineford War. Oden, the Chad of Wano, a legendary samurai who could read the ancient language and fought against Kaido himself tooth and nail, on the verge of beating Kaido, arguably of course, and also died with a smile. Shanks, the only man in the world right now stronger than Kaido, the only Yonko worthy of having a film themed after him, stopping Marineford War, the war of the strongest, thereby displaying the highest level of, as the kids call today, Black Air Force energy in the verse, and the main character's true father, red hair Shanks. And then Sebek, the man who was the head of the era prior to Roger's era, former captain of the Rocks Pirate, that 3 of the 4 pre-time skip Yonko came from, who knew the secrets of the world, and someone very, very likely who was extremely powerful. Introduced with a great big smile on his face in chapter 957. Each of these men in Kaido's mind could have been and could be Joy Boy candidates. And the most intriguing one, by far, honestly, is Shanks. Shanks, well, okay, that's the Shanks fanboy talking in me, obviously. As Christopher, it's gotta be Rocks. Correctamundo. Because Rocks, like Roger, is the only other member of the D clan on Kaido's top 5. And because of the drums of liberation, I get the vibe that we have another major word to fit the initial D, the word drums. Uh-oh. This has happened so many damn times now when it comes to what the D could be. And drums now is a pretty damn good choice. And the final nail on this idea is that when you piggyback the very popular theory of Blackbeardo, Mr. All Day, Every Day, 24/7, 365, Zay, ha 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 ha, Blackbeardo has inherited the will of Rocks D. Sebek. And it just so happens that Blackbeard has a move called Liberation.
Liberation!
A move that just so happens to eject anything, objects and people, from his black hole.
Black hole!
So objects and people sucked into the darkness, the black hole, and then liberated into the light, or in this case, the dawn. So even though right now Kaido is the biggest representation of a fake Joy Boy, Blackbeard versus Luffy in the future might just be the ultimate showdown between the embodiment of the real Joy Boy versus the fake Joy Boys.